Greetings from Moncton. My name is Richard Vander, and I have the privilege of being the Redemption Prison Ministry pastor for the Atlantic region. Thinking right now of men and women who are in prison, and my prayer is that they will be aware of the profound presence of God. You read these words, "O Lord, you have searched me and known me. You know when I sit down and when I rise up. You discern my thoughts from afar. You search out my path and my lying down, and are acquainted with all my ways. Even before a word is on my tongue, behold, O Lord, you know it altogether. You hem me in, behind and before, and lay your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high. I cannot attain it." It's my hope and prayer that those who are incarcerated and who are Christians will be aware of the powerful presence of God, especially now that He hems them in, that there's nowhere that they can go that's away from the presence of the living God. So, what are some things that we can do? Some of the things that we're called to do right now are to write our prisoners, pray for them faithfully and regularly, and I'm sure many of you are, and thank you for that. I have the privilege right now of participating at Harvest House. Now, there is a recovery center where anywhere from 9 to 12 men are quarantined at this point. A number of these men have been in prison, and they are out, and they are reintegrating into society, and they're trying to deal with their addictions. And so at this recovery center, every Thursday morning, I'm able to go there to lead a chapel service, to participate in something called an Overcomers group, which is a 12-step recovery group, such as you hear for Alcoholics Anonymous and things like that. But Overcomers is specifically a Christian 12-step group. So I had the opportunity to meet with these men and to speak with them. I go a few times a week to have coffee one-on-one. Sometimes I bring games so that there's the opportunity for these men who are in quarantine to see somebody other than staff that are there. I have the right to do this because they remain in quarantine. I'm considered a volunteer staff or a paid volunteer because of my position with Redemption Prison Ministry. So I've been very thankful for the opportunity to do that. I've been writing students as well. I've been marking some work. But right now, one of the big challenges that our inmates face is this. Many of them are not receiving mail because there's a staffing shortage for guards, and many of the guards are afraid of this COVID virus, and I understand that. The media reports are quite frightening. Because of this, staffing is low, and so mail is not a priority. So a number of our students are not receiving mail for 2 and 3 and 4 weeks at a time. I have a good friend who receives phone calls from an inmate friend of his, and this inmate has not received a letter in the last 6 weeks, though my friend has written him 3 times, 6 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, and none of those letters have arrived. So we need to be praying that the priority will be placed on mail. If you think about it, these inmates currently are in their cells. They have less activities than normal because activity directors, social workers, ministers are not allowed to come in. So GED courses, classes, work, all kinds of different things are not taking place as normal. So a number of the men are spending significantly more time in their prison cells rather than having the opportunity to interact with outsiders. So mail is so significant at this time. What are some things that you can do? Well, I believe that it's important for you to continue to pray. Pray for the inmates, especially those who have followed Jesus Christ and desire to do so. Their witness can be so profoundly important at this time. Encourage you to write your MP and MPP and make them aware of the concerns that you have for those who are incarcerated, and that perhaps staff can be hired specifically to make sure that they receive a contact with people from the outside world. And perhaps ask that ministers and chaplains be allowed in as well, gowned and masked or whatever it needs to be, but that the people who are incarcerated may know the love of Jesus Christ. Thank you so much for your support of Redemption Prison Ministry. Thank you so much for your prayers and for your encouragement. May God continue to bless us all as we seek to serve Him in these troubling times. And may we be reminded as well that the Lord is with us, that there's nowhere that we can go from His presence. Amen.